why. They don't tell me for why I do it, or when I do it, or how I do it, or when and why I do it, or where I do it, or when I do it. Welcome back. First, I'm going to scream really, really loud right now. I'm just going to give you a warning. Okay. We're good. We are good. We are good. We are good. It was a long Thursday, but ladies and gentlemen, Philip White is back. Philip White is back with some more free refill. We are on episode 7. Let me also get that main one updated as well. Oh my gosh. It has been an absurd day. Let me get this updated. Bang. Look at that. And then let's just get that centered. And then let's also get this centered because it's not right. What a day it is. I'm going to tell you right now. Long day. A lot of people calling me all day. Telling me, hey, you know, do this, do that, do all these things. And I had to be like, nah, we're good. We're good. I'm just kidding. I obviously did what they asked of me, but it wasn't super awesome. Okay, that's all set up. And then I have to grab the other thing. But we are back. It is week 5 already. Oh my gosh. The NFL season's already basically, a quarter of the way through the regular season. September has ended. October started yesterday. If you did not get sent your wake up, it's the first of the month. Just make sure you message me and I will send it to you every single first of the month that I remember to do it. But it is the first of the month, and it's time to talk about Week 5. In roughly an hour, the Los Angeles Rams will host the San Francisco 49ers. Big news in that game. Brock Purdy will not be active. Megamind, what do you think about that? Okay, awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. I feel like I'm a schizo right now talking to... I feel like I'm a schizophrenic just talking to an image of Megamind. I have to get Will. You know what? One of these days, we've always been talking about getting John C. Reilly on the show. I think eventually we're going to have to get Will Ferrell on the show as well. Just for the bit. Just to have him on. We'll be like, hey, guys, look, it's Megamind. Oh my gosh, it's Megamind. Alright, let me just reset this while I do this. If anyone's watching, I hope you're having a good week. It has been really crummy week for me lately. I cannot lie. It hasn't been good. I'm gonna be real. It's been long. It's been exhausting, but we carry on. We carry on. Let me get the tier list up so I know what we're doing. First, what we are doing is we're going to be going through all the games this week. We're going to be ranking them as we do. We're going to be ranking the best game, the game that's going to be the absolute stinker of the week. We're going to be ranking the best game of this week. We're going to be talking the entirety of the NFL going into week 5 and then previewing Thursday Night Football. That's the plan. The same hour plan that we have pretty much done every single time, and we will continue to do. Actually, you know what? The best part is, fun fact, there's a new category this week. We finally hit week 5, which means bye weeks are happening, which means there's actually some stuff I just get to kind of gloss over only for a little bit. Maybe. And here's the interesting thing: you really know if you're a good team, if you're a really good team, if you have a bye. How you feel around the bye. If you're like, thank God the bye is here, chances are your team was probably sucking. But if you're like, dang, my team was played this weekend, that means you're like, if you're like an Eagles fan, you're like, oh man, I wish the Eagles played this weekend. Oh, like that's the reality. Game of the week, a banger. I think that'll be what we do there. That one's probably gonna have to be a banger ultimately. Let's just put bye week at the bottom. Bye week. And then Toilet Bowl Fest. Decent game. I'll say pretty good game. Because I think that's what that's going to end up being. We'll be like, pretty good game. I feel like that'll be a Toilet Bowl Fest. This will be okay. Like a solid watch. A solid game to watch, right? And then we would have, like, mid here. And then we would have, like, cheeks. You know, we gotta have mid and we gotta have cheeks. That's just the reality of our situation right now. Alright. Before we get into this, we gotta talk the big game that's gonna be happening in about an hour. The San Francisco 49ers versus the... You know what? I wish I had a water. That's okay. We don't need a water. We'll have... You know what? We'll crack open a Miller Lite with your boy. Back of mine, you want a Miller Lite, man? I can phase it through the screen. Honestly, this is a good, interesting question that I will answer after I grab one beer. To loosen up a little bit, so to speak. I need a second to just... Ugh. You ever have one of those weeks where it's not even anything particularly bad happens, it's just long. Like, everything is long. And no matter what happens, it's long. It doesn't matter whether it's... Like, no matter what. Everything takes forever. It's just, you want the day to be over so bad. It was one of those weeks this week, and I couldn't handle it. Alrighty. Hold on. Oh, what an amazing sound. What an amazing sound to have. Let's get started with the Rams and the 49ers. Big headlines in this one. Number one, still no George Kittle. There wasn't going to be. He's only really eligible to return against the... I think they play the Bucs next week, so that's when I believe that's when he plays. He'll be returning next week if he is going to play. If he is going to return. So he's not returning this week. The Rams are 3-1. They just knocked the Colts from the ranks of the undefeated. With a little help from Adonai Mitchell. Adonai Mitchell will seem to be wearing a lot of the blue and gold. Seem to be wearing that Rams white this past week. But I do want to get into this game. I believe the 49ers are plus 8.5 underdogs, especially without Brock Purdy being out. That's not good. George Kittle still on IR. Nick Bosa torn ACL. And now you have the Rams and 49ers. I think this will, in terms of watchability for this game, I think this will be a solid watch because I honestly don't know what the 49ers... I don't fully know how to feel about them. Because on one hand, they're wicked banged up. They've lost a ton of key contributors. They had lost a ton of key contributors in the offseason. Now they got to play a really good Rams team that's only lost to the defending Super Bowl champs. And Puka Nacua, by the way, is on a historic pace for this, again, like another historic season. Like already 42 catches, at least 42 catches, like 503 yards through the first 4 weeks. Just an insane start to the year. Very much making his case to be the top receiver in the league, especially when you look at the slow starts that Jay Jettas has gotten off to. Not a slow start, but maybe not incomparable, not the same. And then Jamar Chase is not having his quarterback. It's going to be tough for him to keep that wide receiver title this year. I will say this, not just about Puka Nacua, but more particularly about the man who throws him the ball, Matthew Stafford. Put him in the hall. I'm sick of the disrespect. I am so sick of the Matthew Stafford disrespect that seems... I don't even know if it's there. Maybe people say, like, you're glazing Matthew Stafford. Disagree. Disagree wholeheartedly. Megatron had one of the best seasons... Had the most productive season by a wide receiver until Cooper Kupp, who was the quarterback, Matt Stafford. And Matt Stafford was the quarterback for Puka Nacua's incredibly productive rookie season. The best, I believe, in total yards for a rookie wide receiver. And now we're seeing... This could potentially happen again with Puka Nacua having an unbelievable season. I know Stafford doesn't have the Pro Bowls. I know he doesn't have the individual accolades. I don't care. I don't care at all. And frankly, you shouldn't care. You should just be able to look at Matthew Stafford and say, oh yeah, that guy, that's a gold jacket quarterback. In fact, if you really think about it, he's also the last pocket passer. After, Brady, Peyton, Big Ben, I guess Aaron Rodgers still around, but he's very clearly out of his prime. Whereas I think Matthew Stafford can still grip it and rip it and is right now significantly better, right? Or even, no Phillip Rivers anymore, no Eli Manning anymore, no... who the hell? I feel like I'm missing Breeze. No Breeze anymore. No Matt Ryan anymore. No, like a lot of those pocket quarterbacks from the yesteryears are just, they're not around anymore. They're all retired. Or if you're Aaron Rodgers, just kind of still mediocre. I mean, the offense is better. We'll get into that. But Matthew Stafford, I think, deserves his flowers. I think he should get a gold jacket because Megatron's in, right? Like Megatron had to have gotten in. Megatron's in. Put Stafford in. Like, put the quarterback in. Put the QB in. He's had so many productive. He's been able to make so many wide receivers productive. Like, no matter what it seems, there's always at least one wide receiver with him that's incredible, and then there's always, like, a good two, too. Like, I've seen Golden Tate play well with him. I've seen Marvin Jones play well with him. Odell went there for basically, like, really just, like, half a season, basically, and was super productive, right? It seems like no matter what, Stafford's able to get great production out of receivers, regardless of who they are. Like, I remember Kenny Galladay. Kenny Galladay got a massive contract and left Stafford and then went to Giants and was terrible. Hall of Fame alone. You baited the Giants. Unbelievable. To this game and specifically, I'm trying to just round it back. It's going to be a solid watch. I think this game will be kind of close, maybe late, and the Rams will pull away, or it's going to be a blowout. I'm kind of leaning towards the former. Mac Jones he looks serviceable for the first few weeks. I'm just like, okay, this is probably going to be his biggest test because generally speaking, the 49ers had a soft schedule at the beginning. We'll see what he looks like in this game against the Rams with a young defense that is raring to go. But if I have to be transparent, Rams are probably going to win this game. I'm picking the Rams to win this game. Like, your backup quarterback's in. You're missing probably your best offensive piece, not named McCaffrey. You're missing your best pass rusher, right? It's just gonna be tough. It's just not nearly the same talented team as it was years ago, and it is what it is. I think the Niners put up a good fight, but I think the Rams are gonna take it. I just think the Rams are. I think a lot of their pieces outside of like maybe Puka are kind of underrated. Like I don't think people think Kyren Williams is as good as he is. Like Kyren Williams has been very consistent, especially the last 2 years, and is a very solid back. I haven't seen enough people get really excited about him, which is odd to me because I feel like he may not be like the explosive like Bijan or Saquon or Derrick Henry, but he's consistent. He's solid. He does good things. He gets the job done. Look, that's what I would look at that as saying, hey, that's a guy who knows what's up. That's a solid running back. I would take that any day. Like I would, if I had my options, I don't think he's like top 3, but I think he's definitely top 10. I feel like that's not people like it's weird that top 5. I get it. Top 5 is so much different than top 10. The top 10 doesn't feel like it gets its respect anymore. It just doesn't. It doesn't get the same respect that it may have used to in years. Like, people don't value nearly as much if you're a top 10 player at your position. You need to be top 5. I understand this insane push to greatness. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's odd. To me, it's a little, it's kind of lame because the higher up you are, you don't get to really talk about these underappreciated players as much. And then the guys who are even lower than that, who are like maybe top 15, are even more underappreciated. So it ends up just being like I don't know, feed the dominant. You don't get enough pub about Rashawn Gary. There's not enough pub about Alex Highsmith. You know, like to be fair, Alex is always hurt, but that's besides the point. They're good players. I feel like they gotta get their love. They gotta get their credibility. Anyway, 49ers Rams tonight is gonna be a solid watch. Actually, hold on. Does anyone? You know what? I'm not gonna cast it, but I am gonna throw a 3-game parlay. And if you cast a 3-leg parlay, 3-leg parlay, I just want to see what people are building, and then I'm gonna take chunks of each because I feel like that's the play. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of the Mac Jones under. I don't know if that's gonna happen, just because. I mean, one thing is one long pass from McCaffrey, right? I just don't. Puka Nacua under 7.5. That seems kind of ridiculous too. Who's betting on Puka to have under 7.5? That's another thing too. I don't know how many people are like big bettors out there. Who's betting unders? Like unless okay, I know a lot of people do it in the WNBA, but generally speaking, I feel like it's just overs are more exciting, and also like the thing is with an under, at any given like that under could be crashed and be over by the first half, right? It could be over. It could be done. Like a guy could just have 8 catches, and you're like, oh well, that bet's cooked. But at least like with an over, you have the whole game. At any moment, your bet could hit, right? Like event like. I've never understood the unders because you're hoping it's a please stay, but like it's gonna change. Come on. Well, you know what? Fine. I would actually. You know what? Hot take. Do the opposite of this parlay. This one is Mac Jones is 216.5 to go under 216. 216.5 is a high number, but I'm still gonna say over. Puka Nacua over 7.5 receptions, and then take the over on points. I'm crazy with it. I don't want to listen to some crappy site with ads. No, we're not doing that. Take the over on points, over on Mac Jones passing yards, and over on Puka catches, and watch it, and watch yourself be victorious. And you're welcome. You're welcome in advance. Watch yourself be victorious, and watch yourself be victorious. Miller Lite, you do not fail. Do not. You disappointed once or twice, but you're not disappointed tonight. Let's roll it back to the next game. The next game is the London game. The Vikings are back in London. They are playing the Cleveland Browns. I think this game is not going to be cheeks, but it's pretty close. I'm going to put it in mid. Dylan Gabriel is starting. That's exciting. That's exciting on paper. This Browns team still sucks. They got a lot of young players. I think Harold Fannin, his tight end, looked really good. I think I remember him he was making some nice plays week 1. Quinshon Judkins has been back in the lineup. He's made that offense a little bit more entertaining. Kind of sucks as a former Dylan Sampson owner. He is now off the team because he is not going to get snaps again. But I mean, it's Carson Wentz versus Dylan Gabriel across. I guess if there's any quarterback to be starting out in Ireland like it was last week, it would be Carson Wentz. But I don't know what to make of this game. I don't know what to make of Dylan Gabriel. I think he's going to be more mobile than Joe Flacco. I think the big problem with Flacco is a couple things. Number 1, he was turning it over a lot. And number 2, Kevin Stefanski's play-action system, I think, is going to work better with a quarterback with a little bit more mobility, like a Dylan Gabriel, because it allows you to stretch the pocket a little more. It allows you to get outside the numbers and actually, keep plays prolonging over an extended period of time. But the Vikings defense, I think, is going to be pissed off again. Remember, what was it? The Vikings got annoyed, I think, what happened against Atlanta, and then they dominate Cincinnati. And then they're going to be annoyed about what happened in Pittsburgh, and I think they're going to dominate Cleveland. I just think this to me is a Vikings win more than it is Cleveland's. I think the Vikings have a lot more to gain. My one headline with the Vikings is J.J. McCarthy really that good? Because we saw week 1 versus Chicago. But then we've kind of seen almost everyone outside of Geno Smith be able to do that, right? And it still took until that last quarter. Now he's hurt. Carson Wentz still has been probably more productive overall in the offense. So if you're Minnesota, you kind of want to win now. I'm not upset that Minnesota made the decision to start McCarthy. You spent a high draft pick on him. You have to know what you have in him. But he's just not ready right now. I understand it's a short sample size to be judging. But, how long are you going to have this roster to get? You have a lot of good pieces that will eventually either not be as good or will have to be moved to make room for new pieces. So, I think this game will be very telling because I think the Vikings could easily probably beat the Browns. I need to see because now Carson Wentz is going to play another good defense. Right now he's playing the Cleveland Browns, who even with their bad game against Detroit last week, still are very good on every level. They're good in the back end with guys like Denzel Ward. They're good up front with Myles Garrett and Mason Graham. Who's the Cody Schlesinger? I think is his name. He's been everywhere making tackles. I want to see what Cleveland looks like. I want to see what Minnesota looks like. But this is the test. If Carson Wentz can not necessarily dominate this defense, but still effectively move the ball, look like he has control. He doesn't have to limit himself to like 0 turnovers. But if they look more in control of this offense than, let's say, McCarthy did against Atlanta, is it worth it to consider maybe you just ride with Wentz? Especially if Wentz makes a play or two to win this game for you. It'll be interesting going forward. I still think J.J. McCarthy may have the higher overall ceiling just because there's a lot of talent and potential there. But if I'm the Minnesota Vikings, I have to start questioning it if McCarthy's going to be able to get us back into the playoffs this year. Because this is supposed to be a playoff roster. And if McCarthy can't do it, you got to find someone who can. And I just don't think you can waste a team that won 14 games last year. Especially with the way Sam Darnold looks right now. It just does not look good it doesn't look great for Minnesota. It's not their fault. But it doesn't look particularly exciting right now. Next up on the docket was, I believe, we now have transitioned down to London. We are moving out of London. First of all, if you like what you're watching, give a little like, sub, hit the little red, hit the little, hit that little, the bell. That was what I was thinking of, the bell. Oh my gosh, that's how long a day it was. I couldn't even remember what the little ringer notification was. It was a bell. Jets, Cowboys. Gosh, you know what? It's not going to be a bang. I can't guarantee that it'll be a banger, but I think it's going to be a pretty good game. Because Dallas, I think, honestly, both these defenses are bad. They are, and it's weird, especially at least in the Jets' case, because the Jets should have good players, right? They have Sauce Gardner, they have Quinnen Williams, they have Quincy Williams. They've got some pieces there that should make it a good defense. But you've seen them through the first couple weeks. Tua's been able to move the ball on them. Aaron Rodgers was magnificent against the New York Jets. Josh Allen and James Cook obviously cooked him. We expected that. And then week 3, Baker was doing the same thing. Cooked him on the last drive to win the game. So if I'm the Jets, this is like, if you've seen Dak this year, Dak's been phenomenal. I know there's no CeeDee Lamb, but George Pickens stepped up against the Green Bay Packers. Pissed me off, too, because why couldn't he have done that on the Steelers? Why can't he just waited for Aaron Rodgers to be able to throw the ball? But the Dallas Cowboys offense has been, I think it's number 1 in the league. And they also have the number 32 defense, which will, I think, allow... Breece Hall is going to probably rip off runs. I imagine Justin Fields is going to be ripped off runs. This is going to be one of those games. It doesn't look good on paper. It doesn't look good just to the appeal based when you're looking at the logos. But this is going to be a fun, offensive game. That's what I think. This is going to be a little bit of a... It could be another shootout. Dallas is probably going to have to be in shootouts just because how bad their defense is. And it could be the Jets' first win. I think this is going to be a pretty good game. In my personal opinion. I think the Dallas Cowboys, with what Dak Prescott is doing, with how he's throwing the ball, he looks like, and also, and I said this like about a month ago when they played the Eagles, he looks like thinner. He didn't look like necessarily as thick. Like he looked, like in a good way. He looked like he did like rookie Dak. He looked like energetic. He looked excited. He looked ready to go. And I think he's raring to go against the Jets. If I had to pick a winner, I'm probably gonna go. Gosh, I don't like picking either of these teams to win a game. Ugh. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. I think the Jets fall to 0-5. I think the Cowboys, especially after they beat they didn't beat the Packers, but they tied. The way they played against the Packers last week, I feel like they have to take some of that momentum into this game. Maybe they played over their heads and they fall back to earth and the Jets absolutely crush them, but I think they're going to take some of that momentum into this game because the Packers have a very good defense. Let's not clown around here. They have a very good defense, whereas the Jets have kind of struggled. I'm going to roll with the Cowboys in this game on the road against the New York Jets to get the win. That is my decree. That is my decree. I just want to go in order because it's normally how I go. That's the only reason. I know all the games. I just want to go which one and see which next one is on the technical list of going in order. But I think the Cowboys win that one. I think it could be a pretty good game. I actually don't know what my banger is of the week. And I kind of have an idea of what Toilet Bowl is going to be. I do not know. Ooh, is this Toilet Bowl? This is not Toilet Bowl, though. I disagree. This is definitely Cheeks. I will say this. This next matchup is Cheeks. And it is Saints hosting the Giants. And I understand the hype around I understand all the SEC frat boys are excited. They're entertained. They're hyped for Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo duo. But without Malik Neighbors, this could be like a 10-6 ball game, man. I don't know. I know they looked great week 1, right? Well, not great week 1. Last week. Week 4, against the Chargers, the Giants looked better. However, I believe that there's still clear issues on this offensive side of the ball. And losing Malik Neighbors, that didn't make them any better. It did not solve any of the offensive issues. Obviously, it's going to make things worse. Wan'Dale Robinson is going to have to be wide receiver 1. They didn't indicate that they were going to make any moves. When asked if they were going to trade for anybody, they said you can't really replace Malik Neighbors, which doesn't rule out that they're going to trade for anybody. But it kind of gives you the idea we're going with the guys we have in-house. I think the Giants should beat the Saints. I have them winning this game. Because the Saints are just... the Saints showed that they can play a little bit, at least, against the Bills. But I think that game in and of itself, DeMario Davis... it's crazy to me that DeMario Davis is going to have to single-handedly win this game for the Saints. And if I'm the Saints, I'm looking to shop some players. I'm looking to shop like an Alvin Kamara. Do I shop a Chris Olave? Do I shop a DeMario Davis, right? Are those guys going to be available? Because, you're not winning this year, and I doubt you're going to be in contention next year. So... you're looking to try to just build up a culture moving forward. This would be a big win to get it for New Orleans. Any win at this point's a big win for the Saints. I just don't see it. I think this game is also going to be kind of sloppy. I have a gut feeling. I have a gut feeling it's two very bad teams. It's a coach that just got saved by Jackson Dart. I don't buy into it. I think this game's going to be cheeks. I don't think it's the toilet bowl, though. I have a different game for that. But this is in consideration, but the reason why I don't think it's going to be as bad is because I have a much worse game on the docket that I think is going to be much worse. But moving on to the following game, we have, Raiders-Colts. Hot take, despite Geno Smith's disgusting turnovers, this game will be a banger. Raiders-Colts will be a banger because Daniel Jones is just going to light it up. Geno Smith will probably still commit turnovers. But the good news, guys, Ashton Ginty last week arrived, went back to his former stance, and had a hat trick. When you know, you know. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ashton Ginty had an incredible game. I still don't know why the Raiders don't throw to Brock Bowers. I really want to talk to Pete Carroll about that. I may have to get his number and ask him, Pete, buddy, go to Brock Bowers. And Jacoby Myers, for that matter, because I also somehow have him. I have to start 2 Raiders. It's probably my fault on that. My bad. Should be starting 2 Raider players, but come on, dude. Just throw it to him. Throw it to your best tight end. I'm sorry. Should be the best tight end in the league right now. And now we're going to have conversations about, is he really... Throw it to Brock Bowers. Give him the ball, please. Or trade. If you're not getting him the ball, trade him. I'm not having this. This is ridiculous. Daniel Jones kind of hit a snag last week in the MVP campaign of Daniel Jones. That being said, they very much could have won that game. Adonai Mitchell had such a good play. That touchdown would have been one of the highlights of the year, and then he fumbles out the end zone. You watch the play itself. The play is incredible. Makes the catch, 6-spin move, getting all the way in the end zone, and just can't finish. And then having the holding penalty on the long Jonathan Taylor touchdown run that would have tied. It's brutal stuff. Colts could have very much been 4-0, but they ran to penalties. They made mistakes. Donnie Mitchell, I'm sorry, bro. We probably took the long way home. I hope he bounces back because that was an incredible catch, and I still think he could be a good receiver. It's just for that to be what happens is not great. So I think it's going to be a low-key banger of a game. It's going to be a great running back battle, at least. You're going to have Ashton Ginty versus Jonathan Taylor. Can Ginty follow up his performance from last week? And Jonathan Taylor, who's just generally been on a tear to start this year. I think it'll be a good game. Geno Smith might have his turnovers, but you know what? I'm okay with that as long as the running backs take center stage. That's what I care about in this Colts-Raiders matchup. Ooh, wait, we have it. I think the next one is it? Yes, we do. We have the Toilet Bowl. The Toilet Bowl matchup of the week. I believe it's... Wait, hold on. Let me double check. I think it's Miami. Miami going to Carolina. Yup. Put this game in the bottom. Put this game in the trash. I do not like either of these two teams. First of all, Miami now loses Tyreek Hill. Offense is so much worse. Like, just is. It's going to be worse. Secondly, Carolina couldn't do jack anything against the New England Patriots. Absolutely nothing. Like, just not in the slightest. What are we doing? Like, what are we... How? How is Carolina... Like, when I say Jekyll and Hyde, I mean it. I so much mean it with Carolina. 30-zip against your division rival. 30-zip. Shut them down, right? Absolutely dominated the Atlanta Falcons. Then you go on the road to New England, who I think is not only a less talented team, but just not only is a less talented team, but also still trying to find their footing as a new head coach, right? Young, all second-year quarterback to your third year, and they blow you out. They just blow you out of the water. Like, no questions asked. I feel bad. I feel bad for Charlotte fans. I really do. I feel bad for Carolina fans because that was gross. That was actually gross. I can't explain how bad it is. And then Miami, I understand Tyreek now is out, but even before then, you still had Tyreek Hill, you still had Jalen Waddle, you still had Devon A-Chain. Hey, Mike McDaniel, what are you doing with a job? What are you doing? What are you doing with employment? What are you doing with work? What are you doing there? Why are you not at the McDonald's making me my Big Mac or my McGriddle or whatever? You should not be coaching the Miami Dolphins. You just shouldn't. So, I have to put it in the toilet bowl. And honestly, if Mike McDaniel loses this game, there's a real good chance. Like, he should have been fired. If they lost to the Jets, he probably would have been. But he still has a job today, probably because they beat the Jets. You lose this game, you're done. So, somebody, like, both these coaches are super on the hot seat. If either one of them loses this game, I wouldn't doubt if they're fired by Monday. Like, not even by Monday. By the end of the day Sunday. Like, not even, they wouldn't wait till Monday. They do it, like, in the middle of the late game Sunday. Like, they'll just walk in the locker and be like, hey, get out. I don't think these coaches last the year. Neither one does, in my opinion. I don't think either one lasts the year. And if they do, they shouldn't have. That's just my personal take there. Moving on from two teams that I am not happy about. Broncos Eagles. Is this game of the week? I think this is definitely a pretty good game minimum. I don't know if it's the banger. I may have a hot take on what the banger game is though, or the game of the week, to be honest, because there's a lot of games that I really like. I'm gonna say this is a banger for sure, because it's a playoff team. It's a playoff team from last year going up against the defending Super Bowl champs. So it's definitely like not a banger. It's a banger. Bo Nix bounced back. I mean, again, it's Cincinnati's defense, but Bo Nix, who had kind of had some question marks coming in the first few weeks, looked good against Cincinnati. They blew them out, and that defense is really good. It's going to be on a short week playing Philly, which is not great if you're Denver, but that pass rush is pretty lethal, and I want to see what it looks like against this Philadelphia Eagles offensive line and this offense in general. This Eagles offense has been kind of bizarre. Saquon hasn't gotten off to the start you would expect. The Eagles pass offense is only good when it wants to be. Like it just disappeared in the second half against Tampa. It was next to non-existent. So, I mean, did they score? Hold on, I need to double check this. I don't know if they scored in that second half. I think they did, so I'm definitely over-exaggerating. But, yeah, they only scored, like, early in the third quarter. They didn't score in the fourth. Like, their defense held it down. So, like, again, you can't... No one can really knock the Eagles because they're winning. You're 4-0. A win's a win. It is what it is. But the reality is it doesn't feel as an incredible... I think it's a good 4-0, but it doesn't feel like a, wow, they're dominating everybody 4-0. Because if it was, it'd be like the consensus best team. But you could obviously make an argument for the Bills and all that. So, because they're also 4-0. It's tough. I mean, I guess I didn't pick who won Panthers Dolphins. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you who I think wins Panthers Dolphins. It's gonna probably be Carolina just because there's no Tyreek Hill. And then I have the Giants beating the Saints. But for this, and then Colts will beat Raiders. Broncos Eagles though is interesting because I really want to take Denver just because I don't. Eagles bother me. They annoy me. They annoy me lately. They're just annoying. It really depends on what how the big plays go in this game for Denver. Because Philadelphia's still a very good tackling team, but their coverage has been booty. Like, they gave it up. It wasn't bad coverage on the Ibuka touchdown, but letting Bucky Irving beat you isn't good either. So, it just depends on what kind of running game the Broncos can get established. If this was in Denver, I'd probably take Denver, but since it's in Philly, I'm going to roll with the Eagles by like a hair. By probably like a field goal. Like a 3-point difference, I think, is what's going to happen in this game. But I wouldn't doubt it if Denver gets the win somehow. They're an underrated team. I think they feel like they would. I'm just saying this is like a gut thing. I feel like they're a good road team, but I don't know if that's true or not. I'd have to double check. Very solid, and especially with J.K. Dobbins, the way he ran on Monday night, I thought that was very impressive to see what he was doing there. Cortland Sutton's getting his chemistry continuing with Bo Nix. Marvin Mims is a nice addition. Like, they have some guys on that roster, and depending on where this passing game goes with Philly, that's really going to be interesting to see where that continues to develop. But this game is going to be a banger minimum, I think, for sure. I have Philly getting the win, though. Ooh, Ravens, Texans. Originally this game was probably going to be a pretty good game. Now, hot take, this game is going to be mid. It's going to be mid. I'm sorry to say it. It is going to be a mid game. It's gotten... CJ Stroud's been mid this year. If Lamar Jackson doesn't go, I got to watch Cooper Rush. The Ravens' run offense with Derrick Henry has not been dominant since week 1. And again, like week 1 to week 5, it's still a month difference. So it's been a little bit. I'm just worried that this could be. I think this, honestly, I have the Texans in this one just because I think the Ravens, as talented as they are, Lamar Jackson is such an important part of that team. And now Kyle Hamilton's missing practice as well. Nnamdi Madubuike is already going to miss the season with a neck injury. I think the Texans could easily get their second win here and be a big win for them. And I think for the Ravens, their defenses look terrible. If this is the real last test because you've played against good offenses and great quarterbacks. But CJ Stroud has struggled. If this is the get-right game for CJ Stroud against the Ravens defense and the Ravens fall to 1-4, I could make a case that, yeah, you might... I won't say your season's over because with Lamar, a 2-time MVP, I think anything's possible, but you're going to be clawing back through a lot of water to try to get back to where you need to be. I think that's just going to be difficult, and a loss to Houston would really hurt your chances. We'll see what Cooper Rush looks like, but I have the Texans getting this win despite what I've seen out of Lamar and the Ravens. And if Lamar doesn't go, I think this is going to be a brutal loss. It's tough. Let's talk bye week teams a little bit, just to kind of recap. Bears are on bye, I believe. They looked good. I mean, it was the Raiders, so, grain of salt. But you got to give credit. I mean, Caleb Williams, a lot of people were saying, he's going to be a bust. He's not good enough right now. He doesn't fit with Ben Johnson's offense. Balderdash. Caleb Williams looks fine. 4 weeks in, it's actually probably more along the rate at which I even expected it to be. I didn't think we'd be seeing this offense get good till like the end of October, early November. Late September, early October, they're figuring some things out. They're utilizing DeAndre Swift. They're utilizing Rome Odunze. They're finding ways to get the ball rolling. And yeah, they need a block kick, but you know what? Special teams has been a major theme so far through the first 4 weeks for a lot of different teams. So I'm going to give credit to Chicago. I think that they look pretty good. They look pretty good against the Raiders. I'm not gonna take that away from them. I think they're good. Now, again, their division, I don't think they win that division. Green Bay's in it. Detroit's in it. And Minnesota's still solid. Like, don't get me wrong. Chicago is still, like, 4th right now in that division. But they look better. They look like they can hang. They look better than they did the first couple weeks, which is good. Back-to-back wins is huge for a young organization, for a young quarterback, for a young coach. And another team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ooh, man. Man. Finally, as the resident Steeler of primetime with Taff and Phil, this team is... The offense starting to click, man. And that was without Jalen Warren. Kenneth Gainwell rushed for 99 yards on that Vikings defense. Kenneth Gainwell averaged 5 yards a carry and got 99 yards rushing against that Vikings defense? Yeah, he did. It was impressive. It was an impressive showing. I think it's showing that the offensive line is starting to meld a little bit better. Aaron Rodgers is not asking to dominate every single week, but he looked efficient. 18 to 22. Like, he's looked more efficient in 4 games in these last few games in Pittsburgh than I think he ever looked in New York. They're 3-1. They already have 3 wins. How many? I think it was what? Jets won 4 or 5 games last year. So you gotta give credit to Aaron Rodgers. You have to give credit to Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they're figuring out an offense. This offense hasn't looked good. It's gone through Justin Fields. It's gone through Russell Wilson. It's gone through freaking Kenny Pickett. It's gone through Mason Rudolph. It's gone through, even at the time, like Big Ben after basically Tommy John surgery in his late 30s, right? Like, it's gone through a lot, and yet it's still good, man. Jets only won 5 games last year. That's crazy. And the Steelers are already at 3. And Aaron Rodgers at 3. He's going to get time for his bye week. Anything that's big. Hopefully Jalen Warren's injury is not too serious, so he can get healthy. Alex Highsmith has another week to get healthy. Calvin Austin will be healthy after, I don't know exactly what happened in Minnesota, but I hope he can get healthy and back out on the field. Pittsburgh Steelers, week 6, they play Cleveland. So you can imagine a healthy Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward getting after Dylan Gabriel. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. And then if we lose that game, I'm going to look like a clown, but whatever. I've looked worse. I've lost to Tebow. I lost to Blake Bortles in the playoffs. Nothing can hurt me. It would hurt to lose to Dylan Gabriel, though. Anyway, not because I wanted him, just because I don't want to lose to a quarterback that I think sucks. Hold on, what the heck? Oh shoot! I got set fantasy labs. I got to do a bunch of stuff too before 8:15 hits, so I got to start running through these. All right, I believe that was all the 1 o'clocks. 4 o'clock games are up. Titans and Cardinals. This is Battle of Cheeks. And Cardinals aren't that bad. Like, they aren't that bad, but now they've lost 2 in a row. They're playing an 0-4 Titans team. I wouldn't doubt if the Titans find a way to win. But I mean, it feels fair that the Titans are in Cheeks because that's what Cam Ward said. Cam Ward called them a synonym for Cheeks, called them ass. You know, I mean, that's... And he's kind of right. They don't look... He is right. They just got shut out by their division rival. They look non-competitive in that game. There's not a bright spot for this team. Like, it's probably one of the 2, maybe 3 teams. Like, even the Jets are somewhat watchable just because they have, like, some entertainment value. But honestly, of all these teams, probably the most unwatchable team right now. Like, it is brutal to watch the Titans. Because, and the thing is about Cam Ward, you clearly see the potential. You see that some of the throws he's making across his body. He's got the arm strength. He's got the talent. But he's not able to get better because the team is terrible. The team can't help him to elevate his play. So I think the Cardinals win. I feel like I have to take Arizona here just because Titans are that bad. But jeez, man, it's just... Yeah, I'm gonna take the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are gonna have extra few days to prepare for this game. I think they should win this game. And they started 2-0, but it's got to mean something. I think the Cardinals will win over the Titans. That'll be my take for now. I'll see if it changes this weekend, but I have the Cardinals over the Titans. The other 405, I want to say, is Seahawks-Bucks. That game, is that the banger? Is that the banger? It kind of... Is it the banger? Dang, man. I had a hot take for the banger, but you know what? I'm going to say this. I think this is the banger. I think this is the banging game of the week. Baker Mayfield versus Sam Darnold, the 2018 top 2 quarterbacks in that draft class that were taken, go up against each other in their new homes, Tampa and Seattle. Tampa for Baker and Seattle for Sam. These two, I got to give them credit. I mean, they were teammates in Carolina. This is going to be a fun one. Baker Mayfield has been a complete gamer on the Bucks, and Sam, listen, the numbers might not be as gaudy, but he is playing well. He has played well through the first 4 weeks. It's a good fit in Seattle. I felt like it was going to be good in preseason. Then I got a little scared when they lost week 1, but they've won 3 games in a row. The Pucks are coming off a tough loss to the Philadelphia Eagles at home. This is going to be I think this is a great game. I think this could even, you know what I'd be excited for? I'd be excited to see this game in the playoffs. Could you imagine the Seahawks versus the Bucks? Like the Bucks win the division, Seattle travels to Tampa. I actually would love this game, and I'm going to love it this weekend. I'm going to love watching this game. I think Sam Darnold versus Baker Mayfield is going to be an absolute chef's kiss. I don't know if it's going to be like a high-scoring game or if it's going to be like a close kind of grinding-out game, but I think no matter what, I think we're going to get a good game. I want a good game. I want this to be a good game. Who do I take, though? Who would I pick? And this is such a coin toss. Ooh, Bucky Irving is questionable at the moment. I know that much. I'm going to take Seattle. I'm going to take Seattle at home. I think Seattle gets to a surprise, wins their 4th straight game and gets to 4-1. I think I'm going to roll with Sam over Baker. It's tough to do that, but at home, that defense is underrated too. That defense has made a lot of big plays. I know they didn't play well down the stretch against Arizona, but I think they'll play well against Baker and the Bucks, especially if Bucky Irving can't go, and we don't know when Mike Evans is going to come back. So this could be a tough spot to be missing both those guys against a really good defense. I'm going to take Seattle for right now to win at home against Tampa in the game of the week. And there's still some other good games on here that are really exciting as well. Bengals Lions. It's going to be a solid watch. Bengals Lions is the next one. It's going to be a solid watch. Detroit's going to win though. Like Detroit's going to cook them. How does it do that? Like badoops, badoop, badoop. I don't know what that's doing. Regardless, maybe it's this. I don't know. It might just be because I don't know. I don't know what that was. Pay no attention to that. I have the Bengals losing again because this team looks defeated. I mean, literally since that win over the Jaguars, this team looks defeated. They looked defeated against the Vikings, and they looked painful against the Broncos. In fact, I lost. I lost my fantasy matchup because the Bengals got sacked. And I was like, okay, we'll just get a field goal. Please get a field goal. Just drop Denver's points a little bit, and they couldn't do it. And also, I'm mad because the Jets rushed Braylon Allen at the goal line and not Breece Hall. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you? I hope Braylon Allen got hurt. I hope he gets healthy. But what are we doing? Come on, use your best running back. You have a running back that's clearly the best running back on the roster. Give him more touches. I just don't get it. I won't get it. I don't get what the Jets' management decisions are. Regardless, Detroit's gonna run up the scoreboard. I mean, they dropped 50 on Chicago. They might drop 80 in this game. If they might drop. I'm gonna say this. This is my take for this game. Whatever the Lions drop is going to be the most of anybody all year. I think they might hit 60 because this Bengals defense is terrible, and the Lions are at home, and the Bengals they look like the season's over. They lose Joe Burrow, season done. And I mean that's true. That's true. But you can't go out there and play like that. Like you gotta play better. You just have to play better defensively. And I think, and I'm shocked. It's Thursday at the time of recording this. It is Thursday. I am shocked that the Bengals have not traded for a quarterback. Shocked. You need to get someone better than Jake Browning. It's non-negotiable. You've seen it the last 2 weeks, and you're going to see it this week against Detroit. I know Detroit's a good team. I don't care. You can't be sending Jake Browning out again. You just can't. And if this Lions team steamrolls you, this Lions team might drop 50. That needs to be the answer. This Lions team drops 50, 60 as they normally do. That needs to be the wake-up call for Cincinnati that Jake Browning's not enough. You need to get someone better than Jake Browning, because if you don't, curtains. Absolutely curtains. Burrow shouldn't even come back. I would tell Burrow right now, I'd say, just don't come back. Don't come back for this team. Honestly, request a trade. And I say that as a Steelers fan because I want him out of the division. I don't want to play against him twice a year. But honestly, for the betterment of Joe Burrow, this offensive line will never improve. And I think Zach Taylor, the last 2 weeks, has clearly shown, oh yeah, I'm just a Joe Burrow merchant. He's my guy. I know Jake Browning had his moments a couple years ago. We're well past that. We're past that. It was 2 years ago. Move on. Get a better quarterback. You cannot sit there and continue to start Jake Browning and say it's okay, because it clearly isn't. We've seen it's not okay. It's bad. It's a mess. Move on. Gosh, that game is going to be solid just because I'm going to enjoy the Lions absolutely smoking the Cincinnati Bengals. That's about it. Just because as a Steelers fan, I love seeing that. Moving on. The 2 4-25 games. I gotta remember. Actually, let me talk about the bye teams. First, Green Bay. What was that? I know I talked about it on Monday. What was that with Dallas? What are you doing? How are you gonna tie? How are you gonna drop 40 points and tie? How's your defense that's so good gonna allow Dak without CeeDee Lamb to run it up and get 40 points? How are you gonna allow that? How's it gonna happen? Romeo Doubs emerged. Romeo Doubs looking like a potential wide receiver 1. And that's what needs to happen for Green Bay. They need to find out who their wide receiver 1 is going to be long term. But honestly, and their defense will be fine. Like, I'm just a little overreactionary there, but really? 40-point tie? About that, can we stop? Can we stop with ties? I don't understand why we have them in sports, period. Stop it. Nobody wants a tie. Literally nobody. Not a single, like, even as a player playing, I don't get excited about a tie. I just don't. Like, I either let me feel the euphoric joy of winning or the absolute anguish, pain, and bitterness of defeat. Don't give me the numbness of a tie. You know where ties are? Ties are for when you go to work, okay? That's what ties are for. You go to work, you put on a tie. You don't put ties in sports. They're not there. Sports are meant for winning and losing. They're not meant for draws. The only thing you can have a draw in, like, chess. Fine, chess. But even then, like, the reason why, like, a draw exists there for me is because if I, like lose, like, if I accidentally force a stalemate, I'm like, no! I should have won, but I forced it. Whatever. I just don't think physical contact sports shouldn't be in basketball, shouldn't be in hockey, shouldn't be in baseball. It's not. But it shouldn't be in football. Get rid of ties. No one likes them. They're just so inconclusive. You pay all that money and go see a tie. Nobody wants that. The other team, the final team on bye, I believe, is Atlanta. And they're also kind of Jekyll and Hyde-ish like Carolina. I just think the difference in their Jekyll and Hyde-ish is that it's much less warranted. Like, you shouldn't be as much Jekyll and Hyde-ish as you are when you consider that, when you consider a couple things. The first thing being that you have Bijan Robinson and Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Michael Penix, who's solid, and Tyler Algier is a good backup, and Darnell Mooney is a good wide receiver too, and Chris Lindstrom leading a solid offensive line, and yet you get shut out on the road in Carolina. Not okay. Not okay to be doing that with that offense. But that being said, then you bounce back and beat a playoff team from last year in the Commanders at home. Now, granted, they're still on Marcus Mariota, but Marcus Mariota didn't play, like, poorly, so I still think it was impressive that they did win. But, like, what is this team? I don't know. They're 2-2, so fine. That's honestly better than what it could have been when you consider the teams they're playing. Like, they beat the Vikings and the Commanders. That's 2 playoff teams from last year. Like, you think, oh, those are good wins. So, but again, we don't know what those teams are going to look like the rest of the year because they're also 2-2. So, it's a weird start to the year. We'll see what Atlanta looks like. I buy into Michael Penix. I just don't know if I buy into the coaching staff in Atlanta because it's weird. Like, outside of Steelers fan pages, there's this one funny Falcons page that I follow just because I like it when he posts stuff. It's funny watching. It's funny watching fans of other teams like suffer and being like, "Dang, that kind of does suck." Like, I feel bad, but at the same time, he's much funnier when they're losing. You know, or when he's hating on like the Saints. I remember there was like when the Saints lost the NFC Championship to the Rams, he was trolling them. My point is though, this is. Like, he was mentioning Raheem Morris, like, got fired by that staff and then they bring him back in to be the head coach later. Doesn't make sense. So, I definitely have questions with the coaching staff, and I think if they kind of have a similar season to last year, I wouldn't doubt if they say, yeah, this is not what we're looking for. We have too much talent for this team to be underwhelming. They could sneak in and make the playoffs just because of how good Michael Penix is, but if Michael Penix takes, like, a huge step this year, I'm interested to see what quarterbacks, because we're still in the stage of which quarterback is going to take the next leap. We haven't seen it yet. Like, we saw it with Jaden Daniels at this point in time. I don't know if we've seen that yet with, like, any other quarterback yet. So we'll see. We'll see what we're looking at. The final late game on Sunday, Chargers-Commanders. It's going to be a pretty... I'm going to put this in pretty good game for now. The reason why is because I still think it's going to be a pretty good game regardless, even if Jaden Daniels doesn't go. I believe he will play. If he does play, this goes into banger. Justin Herbert versus Jane Daniels to get back above 500. Big game. We saw Omarion Hampton. That was a bright spot in the loss for the Chargers to the Giants. Omarion Hampton had that big day. It's been clear Quentin Johnston is top 5 in receiving yards? What? Yes, he is. Quentin Johnson has emerged as a wide receiver 1, and all of a sudden, Ladd McConkey looks like the wide receiver 3. Where's Ladd been at? But this is actually, I think this is, I also think for this game, Jane Daniels already proven, like, you know, he's very good. Even if they don't win a playoff game this year, like, he's still, like, he was great as a rookie. Unless he significantly regresses, which I don't think happens, at least personally. But with Justin Herbert, this kind of feels like, especially with that loss against the Giants, this is just a reminder that for Herbert, this has to be the year. To me, this has to be the year Justin Herbert either elevates himself into potential top 5 quarterback or basically solidifies himself in and just kind of top 10, some pretty good days, but never really quite top 5. This needs to be the year because you got too much now. You got Keenan Allen, who's played really well. Quentin Johnston's finally breaking out. Ladd McConkey's still in that offense. Omarion Hampton has potential to be good. And you have the head coach in Jim Harbaugh. This needs to be a year. This needs to be a playoff win. This needs to be the playoff win year for the Chargers. Because if it's not this year, I got to be honest, it may be never. That's maybe no exaggeration too. It may be even longer, right? It's just, you're never going to break into that discussion until you do it. And I feel like this year of all years is the best opportunity to do it. And if you don't, the conversations around Justin Herbert being overrated and being an Instagram quarterback, a TikTok quarterback, social media quarterback is just going to skyrocket. And that's what's going to be. I don't know what, you better tell Jackson Dart to stay away from Madison Beer. That's all I'm saying. That's all I will say. Patriots, Bills. This is going to be a hot take. I think this is a banger game for one reason alone. The Bills are using their rivalry jerseys. I don't know if you've seen these, but my goodness, these are incredible. Bills rivalry jerseys. These look sick. Look at this. Look at that. Oh shoot, you can't see. That would help, wouldn't it? Look at this. Oh my god. To the moon, I tell ya. Jay, what is up, my guy? Look at this. Look at this beautiful man. This is going to be a banger game for the fact that these are getting busted out. That's the snowman. That's the winter soldier right there. Look at that. Look at how clean this is. With the white helmet too? Ooh, we cooking. Oh, we are cooking. Oh, we are cooking. We are cooking. That's going to be such a good game for just those jerseys alone. 100%. It's going to be a banger. And I think the Patriots could put up a fight. I mean, they blew out Carolina, which, again, it's Carolina, but I think they're better than I thought that they... I still don't think that they're, playoff material. I still think they're closer to 8-9 than they are 10-7. Which I know is the difference between two games. But I think they're closer to a losing record, that almost winning record, than they are to an actual winning record. But that's going to be a good game. So, simply for those jerseys. I want one, and I'm not even, I'm not personally a Bills fan. Man, Bills are cool. But, I am not, I want those jerseys. I want to have, I want to have, a steel, I wish there was a way to get, a Steelers, all, matte black kind of uni, right? Something like that would be so clean, I think. They got the all white, dude. I want the coal black for the Steelers, dude. That would be sick. Coal black with a little bit of yellow highlights. I feel could go so hard. I'm gonna have to pitch that. I'm gonna have to pitch that when I'm out in Pittsburgh for the Packers game. I'm gonna go to them. I'm gonna pitch this to them. This would be sick. Because our black with the yellow highlights would be cool, but I don't know, a coal ashy black would be just so awesome. We need I don't think we have I don't even think we have an alternate helmet. We need a good alternate helmet too, because our alternate helmet is yellow. I'm not a huge fan of that. If it is, I think I've seen it. It might or may not be, but I'm not sure. Jay, he says, in all fairness, they look like some Catholic school's third alternate jersey. Look, man, nah. Listen, you know what this would be better? Tactically, imagine it snowed and they wore these. How Like, imagine it was actually like I don't know if you remember I think it was Colts Bills a few years ago, and LaShawn McCoy ended the game with an overtime touchdown. Imagine that kind of snow with that jersey. Oh my gosh. You wouldn't be able to see them. They'd be like ninjas. You'd never see them. They'd be like, poof, gone, poof, end zone. They're like, the refs would be confused. They wouldn't know. I think those are such cool jerseys, man. I really do. And I am excited. With the jersey, with the helmet, ooh. Those I thought were the best rivalry jerseys that they leaked. And also, speaking of rivalries, I think the Jets are wearing their rivalries. I was not a fan of them when I first saw them. Let me actually pull those up as well. Let me see if I can get Jets rivalry jerseys. Yeah, this I was not nearly as a fan of. Like, this in particular. Let me see if I can just fix it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This right here, I'm like, they'd be camouflage and it would be awesome. Exactly! It'd be like warfare. This one is, speaking of this one, I wish this one was camouflage so I didn't have to see it. Like, I just don't think, this is just Army. You made Army's jersey. And, like, the 5 looks weird, too. Like, it should be more like, I don't know, it's got, like, these weird, it cut corners somewhere. Like, I don't like it. I don't like the aesthetic. It doesn't look as good. I think it could look better. I think it just could look better. It's just Army. You made an Army jersey. It's fine, I guess. I just don't think it looks that clean. The Raiders at the Jets. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. At least with, like, the Raiders, they got, like, some young guys they can be excited for. Like, I guess the Jets have Garrett Wilson, but they're never going to throw it to him outside of garbage time. Like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, Garrett Wilson, crazy touchdown. Okay, do that, like, to put your team up 7, not within 7, you know? Like, I like Garrett Wilson. I think he's a borderline top 10 wide receiver, but it's just, at the end of the day, you gotta be utilizing your pieces to go score points. Like when the Jets, again, mentioned earlier, when the Jets fumbled on the goal line with Braylon Allen, why are you not running the ball with Breece Hall? What is the game plan? What are you doing? Why are you wasting everybody's time? You should have made it a pilot's captain. Dude, hold on. Let me like this. Let me like this, Jay. Hold on. I gotta pull it over. Like, do you see these? Like this right here? Like this guy? This little goofy guy right here? Look at him. Look at him, he's so happy. Dude, if this guy was playing for the Jets, dude, Jets fans would be so happy. They're like, oh my god! It's our pilot, he's gonna land the plane! He's gonna do it, guys! He's the GOAT, he's the man! Oh, I think I have that. I feel like this is, because this is definitely, this looks so much like this is like a Party City thing. It is. It's a, I just realized it. It 100% is. It says costume. I was gonna say, that's not like a real pilot suit, but like that's clearly just a guy dressed as a pilot. That's not an actual pilot. Ugh. Wild. They should have done with that. That dude would go out and win a game with ease. Ooh, what position does he play, Jay? Because he's either a quarterback or he's kicker. There's no in between. He's no other position on the field. That guy's either the quarterback of the Jets or the kicker of the Jets. He might be both, for all I know. He's one of them. The last game on the list, Monday Night Football, the Jags take on the Kansas City Chiefs. I have this game in banger too, man. I like this game. Kansas City's the Chiefs' offense is now better. And maybe Baltimore is just a free somebody gets 35 points, but they look better. They look better with Xavier Worthy. The many Chiefs fans are saying that's what this offense was supposed to look like, right? I don't know about all that. We'll see what it looks like against the Jaguars defense that's much improved. The team that's like forced, I think, 3 turnovers in every game that they've played. But oof, baby, Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. I just want to see Trevor Lawrence finally start to get going. If Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. can get on the same page, Jaguars could be low-key scary. Like, they could win that division and snatch it away from the Colts. I don't know. It could be a fun one. I want to see the Jaguars ball. I do. They were my AFC South pick for the year, and I'm riding it right now. I ain't selling no stock. I'm holding on strong. They're doing really good. He looks like a pocket passing quarterback who has no left arm. Yeah, who is that? Who's like? Hold on, I'm trying to think. I feel like I have the like. No, like he's going to town throwing these balls, man. He's constantly just getting the joke. He's definitely the quarterback. He could also be like Adam Vinatieri. That's what I thought. That's why I mentioned kicker. When I first saw him, I thought, dude, is that just Adam Vinatieri dressed up like? That's crazy to say because that would be young Adam Vinatieri. That guy was older in that picture, but that would look like a young Vinatieri as opposed to an older guy. Like, it's been a while since I've seen Adam Vinatieri young. Because he was old. I mean, man, kickers are just old. Once you get into the 40s, like, dang, that's an old kicker. Oh, man. Old guys, man. But I don't. He'd have to. What would be his stat line? You think he goes for 300? You think he's got a little bit of mobility, Jay? A little bit of that pocket, maybe a pocket passer. But how mobile is he? Is he like as mobile as Brady, or is he as mobile as like maybe a little bit of like a Romo or a Big Ben as a pocket passer, being able to break the pocket? I don't know. We'll have to sign him. We'll have to find the guy on LinkedIn. We'll sign him and we'll get him on a team. We'll get him into some flag football. Get him warmed up. But this is the list. This is the list of games for this week of how exciting I think they'll be. I really am excited for that Bucs Seahawks game. I gotta tell you, I do think Sam and Baker are gonna put on a dazzling performance. It's not gonna be as high scoring, but it's gonna have low key a little vibes to when Mahomes and Goff played each other back in 2018. That's my super hot take. It's probably not going to be that, but it would be awesome if it was, because I've been itching for a game like that. I mean, we kind of got that with Bills-Ravens, but oof, I need something like, I need a 54-51 shootout is what I need. I think this is good. I think this is pretty accurate overall in terms of excitability for this week. But as of right now, we got 7 minutes, so we got 7 minutes for this game to start. Let me go ahead and start setting the lineups. Let me first set my fantasy football lineups to make sure that I don't have any specific Niners or Rams that I need to swap in or start. That's the big takeaway here that I need to be kind of paying attention to. Rams are the 11th best. Okay, I am playing the Rams defense. I cut the 49ers because they're going to play the Rams, and I'd rather take the Rams against Mac Jones. So that would be the play there. Oof. I don't think anybody on here. Kittle's still on IR, man. Bums me out that I have Kittle hurt. Really could have just been healthy, man. Like, what are we doing? Get healthy, bro. Yeah, also Kittle in this team. I have 2 rosters with Kittle. Oh, he's gone. He's not playing. What the heck? What the heck is going on? What the heck is happening? And then this game, I don't think I have anybody. Oh, Juwan Jennings, but he's out, so he's not even in my starting lineup. Which is good. Which is great. Which is awesome. Which we love. Man, it's about to be a mess. Week 5 is about to get kicked off. I'm going to probably continue to enjoy this little Miller Lite and watch that game over some dinner. If you guys enjoyed this episode of Free Refill, episode 7. 7 free refills. You guys are getting filled up on free refills lately. So, let me know if you guys liked it. Let me know what other ideas you guys have, honestly, if certain things Taff and I should do on the show. If you've got anything else that you want to spill in, give us stuff that we should try out. I'm more than happy to bring it up. And that's if you liked it, like the video, sub, make sure the bell ringer's on, all those good things. I want to go watch a football game. I got the Rams, baby. And if you weren't here for it, I did have a little parlay at the beginning. I looked up a parlay and I said, you know what? Take the opposite. Mac Jones, over in passing yards. Puka Nacua, over 7.5. And the overall game, over. I don't actually know what that pays out. And if it loses, then don't take my advice. I'm not a gambling expert. But think about it. Think about it. Mac Jones is going to have to play from behind. He's going to have to throw the ball. Puka Nacua is going to get hot. He's looking to chase records. I think the overs was 43.5. I don't think it's impossible for this game to easily be like 31-24 or 28-24. I don't think it's impossible. This game's normally a high-scoring affair between two offensive coaches, so that's what I would do. But thank you guys very much for watching. We will be back. Hopefully Saturday we can finally start doing pregame shows. Taff has been busy with a lot of schoolwork, but hopefully he will have gotten it all done by then, and we'll be able to go live for Saturday and Sunday. But until then, I'm Philip White, and this was a picture of Megamind. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys, and have a good Friday. Enjoy Friday night. Whatever you're doing, I hope it's splendid. We'll see y'all next time.